Hey, what's going on, y'all? Jay from JSFILMZ. Now, a couple of days ago, I released an Unreal Engine 5 short animation that I created, and a lot of people were asking me, hey, why are you bothering with Unreal Engine 5? You can just make this stuff with AI nowadays. So that really got me thinking. So I am deciding to pretty much stress test all of the best AI models out there just to see how good they are, starting with the best of the best that's currently publicly available right now, which is Kling 3.0. I do have Seedance 2.0 access, and we'll talk about that later, but for now, we're going to be stress testing Kling 3.0. So with that being said, what you're looking at right now are the shots that I went ahead and did in directly from the Kling 3.0 website. I am not affiliated with them. I paid with my own money to do these tests because I'm actually curious as well. Now, I do have a list of categories that I want to test with each AI models. If you have any other ones that I missed, let me know in the comments below. The first one we're going to be doing is an emotional test. We have a character that's going to be looking at the camera, realistic, and we're going to try and see how well they emote or act. All right, so as you can see right here, I have 3 girls. All right, so let's take a look at the first one here. So she's got that neutral face, and then she's like, okay, you said something funny, I'm going to smile, and then that's kind of like the final shot. Now, with this shot right here, I didn't do any references, and we're going to be talking about that a lot more later. This is just straight up text to video. All right, here's the other test. This is going to be a little bit funny, and I'll say why in a second. So let's play this back. So we have an attractive girl supposed to be looking past the camera, and then it switches to another character. I'll explain why that's doing that here in a second. And then she smiles. All right, so there was a switch there because if you look at the prompt, she spots someone off camera. So that's swapped to another person behind the camera, which made her smile, which again, that was in the prompt and it followed it to the teeth. I didn't really want that character to be there. I kind of want to like, oh, I just saw the person in the camera behind the camera and then started smiling, but it caught it. So for the last test, I got rid of that. This is the last one as far as the emotional test. Same thing, neutral face to kind of like sad face to a smile face again. If you're in a relationship, you know what this is all about. Okay, here you go. Hey, what? What'd you say? Oh, okay. All right. All right, so it did pretty well. And again, I didn't do any reference images for these. Just straight up letting Kling kind of do it for me. One of the things that I've been noticing whenever I'm generating without any reference photos is that Kling tends to go with European characters, which is pretty darn interesting. So this girl's along with the other one, like I would say about Middle Eastern to like European, all right? So for me, out of 5, this test right here, that is very passable. Now, emotional test-wise, if you were to show this to somebody not familiar with AI, they would think that this girl is for real. So with that said, out of 5, I would probably give Kling right now, without any references, I would say a 5 out of 5, because this is pretty darn impressive. You can see some wrinkles in there, kind of animating. See, no wrinkles. We have some wrinkle maps going on right there. This side slightly erases off. Bro, that is muy bueno. So let's go back here. All right, so the next test we're going to be doing is a collision test. Now, I did this in both 3.0 Omni and just regular 3.0. We're looking at the 3.0 Omni right now. Once again, 0 references, basically just text to video. And it does have audio because I added a small dialogue towards the end.
I missed you.
All right, so let's talk about this real quick. For a collision test, meaning did the characters give out a believable hug? We're looking at this right now. That's pretty believable. There's no kind of arms poking through. The contacts are pretty solid on the shoulder. Boom. You know, the hands make sense. We don't have any extra fingers as far as I can see. Fingers are pretty intact, but I did see a little bit of weirdness going on here at the bottom. Right there, like her left arm kind of like morphs. It's pretty small, but you can still kind of tell. But and another thing that's cool here is occlusion. As you can see here, what occlusion means is that girl, the younger girl, is actually covering the elderly woman, the mother's face, for a minute when she hugs her, and then she pulls out, and the lady still looks like a human being with some facial animation in there. So the collision test itself, I believe, is pretty darn good. I think I would probably give it a 4 out of 5 as far as this test goes. So the collisions are there, the arms are there, you know, boom, the contacts are there. Obviously, the image, the faces, you can still see warping. Now, I am doing all my tests at 720p. I don't have 1080p. That's like VIP status or whatever. So I'm not sure what that's going to look like. But from my experience, 1080p seems to be worse sometimes because they can like upscale it or whatever. But yeah, as far as collision go, I will give this one a 4 out of 5. This is Omni, okay? Now, this is the same exact prompt, but this is using Kling 3.0, non-Omni. And it also has audio, so I'll turn it back up.
I missed you.
All right, so once again, you probably saw on the wide shot, that girl just looked extremely wonky. She had a lot of distortion on her face. As you can see right there, I couldn't even notice that girl. Again, I have no reference in this, zero reference. This is basically just Kling doing his thing. It's pretty cool. As far as the contact goes, we're looking at contact and occlusion here. The camera changes a little bit, so it's kind of hard to see. As far as like, there's a little bit, they cheated a little bit by changing the perspective, because you can see her arm right here going on the right, boom, but we kind of look at the other lady from the other side, so it's a bit weird. But if we're talking about just contact of the hug and the occlusion of the hug, once again, to me, that's, I mean, it's funny because she actually, that's pretty impressive there. She's actually moving her hand up the hair. And the hair is actually being touched and moving, right? Like, imagine doing that in Unreal with groom hair like that. Yeah, the faces are obviously still morphing quite a bit. But again, one detail right here is her cheeks are squeezed because of this arm. Little stuff like that, that's going to help tremendously in the long run. The outfits kind of match, which is good. And as far as character consistency in this one, kind of, I mean, we kind of can't see her right here because it's a side profile, but for me, the beginning shot was useless. But for this shot and this shot, yeah, it's definitely passable. And this last shot right here, obviously, that's probably the best out of this. But I would say, looking at those two, I would say for collision, it's getting pretty close. I think she stepped on her mom there, though, for a second. Okay, no, I thought she did. All right, so the next test we're going to be looking at a couple of categories here. First things first, cloth physics. I want to see how well the dress moves. Secondly, reflections. Thirdly, occlusion, and then just overall lighting, period. Now, I did have a whisper at the end, but I didn't turn on the audio for a reason. I want to see what that mouth is going to look like when she just says whisper, right? So here we go. I'll make this bigger, and let's play it back. Here's the reflection. She has a fan, and she's going to pull it up. Okay, so let's talk about this shot real quick. Let's take a look at the cloth physics. Again, if you were to do this in Unreal, it would be a little bit difficult and it's not going to look as photorealistic. But you probably saw that her head and her neck did a really strange thing right there. It just kind of twisted around. So it didn't follow the video completely. But from this shot on, again, the wides are kind of sus. But from this shot on, even with the reflection, like this right here, no, not good. But cloth physics is good, decent. And the reflections right here, that's crazy. And I made sure to put like candle lights in there. And for the occlusion part, I really wanted her to put the fan up and then take it down, but that didn't happen. But still, I didn't see a lot of warping. Not a lot. There's a little bit of warping in her mouth area whenever she puts the fan up, but that's pretty passable. And again, with zero reference, Kling 3.0 did a pretty decent job at generating from this shot right here up to like the close-up right here, because that's believable. And then lastly, the character consistency, the white shot, kind of look like her enough, but it's kind of warping. But from this shot right here, the close-up and the extreme close-up, it did pretty good. Like this girl looks just like this girl, even with zero reference photos. So yeah, interesting stuff. So with that said, that's with zero reference. I'll go back. Now I have a version with reference, and let's talk about that for a second. What do I have? I have a female reference, and I have the environment. And this one has audio, so I'll turn it up.
Hello there.
All right, so let's talk about this one. As far as the dress goes, I don't think it flared up as it should. I don't think it should have flared out a little bit. I saw it kind of dragging on the floor, which is good. Character consistency between the shots with reference photos, it's just not good. And again, this is one of the things, like my testing with Kling 3.0 is that it's better for you not to use reference photos. Like this shot right here looks great. That could be coming from a real commercial, but this wide shot in the reflection does not even look like the same chick. Again, you might get different experiences with this, but for me, the reflections overall, Kling 3.0, it's better for you to just let Kling do its thing. And she kind of cheated here because I told her, remember, it's the same prompt. She's supposed to cover her entire mouth with that, with the fan to kind of hide her lips. But yeah, the lighting's pretty good. Yeah, and then she said something there would really had anything. So the audio and dialogue did not match, unfortunately. All right, so that's pretty much it for this video. This is only part 1 of my Kling 3.0 stress test. Leave in the comments below what y'all think. I'm going to be doing a part 2 so that this video is not really like super long. And once again, I am going to be comparing all these tests that we're doing with Kling 3.0 with Seedance 2.0, which I already have access to.